Good, good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good week. For the video this week, the poem that I'm about to read attempts to answer the question: when was the last time you truly felt alive? And judging by my T-shirt, there's a good hint as to where this piece is ultimately heading. But that's a tiny hint. The poem goes a little something like this: when was the last time you truly felt alive? For me, it was a November's Eve last year. As day turned to night, the skies in Barcelona colored in pink, blue, and white. Looking out to the rest of the city, twinkling in lights, the Mediterranean Sea in my sights. Taking the moment in after a long day of sightseeing and getting the chance to step inside the Sagrada Familia. I stood looking around in silence, in the same spot I was in 9 years ago. It was good to be back in a place that feels like home. So yes, this poem, the prompt was created by the poet Meraki, and for what it's worth, this one was actually a bit harder to pin down than it looked, because when it comes to answering the question, when was the last time I truly felt alive, a few candidates emerged as I was thinking about the prompt. Chief among them, the entire residency at Orquevaux, seeing the constellation ball on the observation deck of One Times Square, One Times Square, getting to hear the habanera during the Metropolitan Opera's production of Carmen. Pretty much the entire World Cup, especially the moment when Ferran Torres scored the winner in the final. Hell, the United States goal against Bosnia and Herzegovina 2. The entire Knicks playoff run for starters. But when it came to that question of when was the last time I truly felt alive, one answer came back to me, and it was gonna end up back in Spain, of course. It's come up again and again for good reason. But this particular moment that I wrote about for the poem, it was the first full day of the trip last November. It was a really busy day. Started near the Arc de Triomphe, took a lengthy walking tour of the Barri Gothic with stops at the Basilica Santa Maria del Mar and the Cathedral of Barcelona, getting the chance to try churros con chocolate for the very first time after 2 visits to Spain and not having the chance. Having the quick run through the Mercado de la Boqueria and fighting off the urge to keep going instead of just parking it for lunch there instead of waiting until we got back to the hotel. Walking down the length of La Rambla on the crystal clear blue sunny day all the way to the Mirador de Colón. And then, of course, before the evening wrapped up, we we visited the Sagrada Familia, and honestly, like, that could have been this poem, if not for the fact that I had already, like, previously covered that portion of the day. But the answer to when was the last time I felt alive, this moment that I described, it was Parc Guell at the very end of the day, about 5:30ish on Monday evening. It was that last glimmer of daylight, that beautiful sky that you'd see clear all the way to the Mediterranean from where I was standing at Parc Guell. The lights were just about to come on, and I was just there on my own, just like taking a look at the site of where I was, reminding myself that I was in this exact position in October 2016. Only difference was that back then we were there at 9 in the morning. So you had the clouds and the sun peeking through the morning sky, and we only got to see La Sagrada back then from the outside. So there I was, like, as the last bit of daylight hit, and I'm so glad to be back after so long away. Like, those first two trips had resonated with me so much that I knew that, given that we were heading to the 10th anniversary of the first trip in November 2015, that I had to come back. It was more than enough time away, and as I stood there before heading down the stairs to continue down the walk down the rest of the site, I just took a moment to admire where I was, and the fact that Barcelona feels like home to me. And if everything, like, I hope at some point that it'll be a more of a permanent home in the years ahead. Because when you get scenery like that, when you get scenery like La Sagrada, where, like, Gaudi's genius is in full flight, and all of his other landmarks across the city, you realize all in the Mediterranean on the horizon, you realize what a special place you're in. And it's no wonder why photos from the evening at Parc Guell are the lock screens from my computer here at home, and my computer at the office, with the interior of La Sagrada being the wallpaper for the once you get username and password in. There's something about Barcelona and the magic of being there that being there twice, and all the other words that I've written about it over the years, like, it doesn't quite do it enough justice, except to be there on the ground. Even if Parc Guell was just only the two houses that you first see before you see the rest of the city skyline. I felt alive, even though I didn't see anything. I just admired the beauty that I was witnessing. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's video. I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you guys again next week. Good night, everybody.